द्वेष रहे ना राग रहे, ना द्वेष रहे ना राग रहे, हम सबका प्यार पाले। आओ इस संसार में सम्मानित जीवन जी ले, सम्मानित जीवन जी ले। समय की पुकार है, समय की पुकार, समय की पुकार है, समय की पुकार। हाँ, सफल है करना वक्त हमें, जीवन में दृढ़ता लाए, प्रेम सरस रस बरसाए, दृष्टि में दिव्यता लाए, दिव्यता लाए। मन में रखें हम क्षमा भाव, जन जन का आदर कर ले। आओ इस संसार में सम्मानित जीवन जी ले, सम्मानित जीवन जी ले। समय की पुकार है, समय की पुकार, समय की पुकार है, समय की पुकार। हम जागेंगे तब नई नई सी आशाएं जग जाएंगी, जीवन खुशहाल बनेगा, ये जिंदगी मुस्काएगी, मुस्काएगी। हम कर्मयोगी बन करके परिवर्तन जीवन कर ले। आओ इस संसार में सम्मानित जीवन जी ले, सम्मानित जीवन जी ले। समय की पुकार है, समय की पुकार, समय की पुकार है, समय की पुकार। ना द्वेष रहे ना राग रहे, ना द्वेष रहे ना राग रहे, हम सबका प्यार पाले। आओ इस संसार में सम्मानित जीवन जी ले, सम्मानित जीवन जी ले। समय की पुकार है, समय की पुकार, समय की पुकार है, समय की पुकार।
Om Shanti, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Like Shakespeare has truly said, all the world's a stage, and all of us are merely actors playing our part. In yesterday's session, also, we all understood how the journey of the soul unfolds as it traverses through the different yugas on this world drama. The theme of today's session is time cycle and karma laws unraveled. We have Sister Monica with us, whom we are all eagerly waiting to listen to. Om Shanti
Om
and
Shanti.
welcome, Sister.
Thank you so much, brother. Well, I'm sure you all are excited to know about the law of karma because that is something which forms a very important part in our lives. And just to give you a quick recap of what we did yesterday, we had a nice understanding about the time cycle. So today, let's just have a recap in a very unique way. I'm going to take you to a nice journey. So sit back, relaxed, in a very comfortable posture. And while I'll revise the session, let us just see for our own selves and realize that yes, time moves cyclically. It all started 5,000 years back when I, the soul, I used to live with my father, the Supreme Soul, in the soul world, the land of absolute silence, or what I call as backstage. That's how my home used to look like. And then my father had created a beautiful home for us. I came down, leaving my father, my original home, to play my role in this wonderful land known as the Golden Age, Satyug, Bahisht, Swarg. Keep looking at this lovely land. Everything seemed just perfect. Be it humans, be it nature, everything was wonderful. It was golden land. We had everything: love, peace, bliss, happiness. The whole atmosphere was wonderful. Chirping of birds was like a lovely music. The whole atmosphere was scented. We had huge kingdom. Everyone used to love each other. There was no unwanted elements. And that was the land which my father created. We were absolutely perfect with 16 celestial powers, Sato Pradhan, like deities. Used to dance, enjoy. It was a land of purity. Time kept on ticking. Almost 2,500 years had passed. And now there was a transition. The soul conscious me became a little more conscious of matter. From worship worthy to the worshippers is what we became. I started praying and remembering my past. I started looking at these idols, creating temples, creating shrines, creating gurdwaras, going in these lands. I wanted peace. Somewhere that happiness was going away. And then came a huge revolution. All the five vices started ruling the earth. Ravana in form of five vices: anger, lust, ego, greed started ruling the earth. People started fighting, and I was looking for the peace. I was looking for and asking God, "Oh God, please come and bestow your love, happiness, bliss back on us." And yes, Father heard us, and the time changed is when the God came, incarnated, and gave us this knowledge of who I really am and who the God is. And that's when I started empowering myself from His Shakti. I realized and got the real third eye of wisdom. I started empowering myself. I am a peaceful soul. I am the embodiment of love and happiness. God gave me a vision that, my dear child, you have to become like an angel who is sustaining this old, rotten earth when all the souls are begging for love, peace, happiness. Everyone is dying because of pain. You, my dear child, have to become the savior. Wake up, my dear brothers and sisters. Now is the time of return journey. Om Shanti. Now is definitely the time for the return journey. That's when God comes and tells us, in this confluence age, when everybody has to wake up and bring about the change in our thought process, in the way we have been doing things. And the wonderful knowledge that He gives us about the 84 births in these 5,000 years that a soul takes maximum. So that is the knowledge which He gives us about this world drama. This Purushottam Sangam Yug, where we, the souls, have one birth, and that is the birth of awakening. So this is the time to actually shine our own fortune and awaken us from vice, a world which is full of wishes, to be making and creating a world which is viceless. So, for that transition to happen, it is we who will have to bring about a big change in the way we have been doing things. I think, everything today, the time is also giving us signals, and everything is telling us that a huge change is expected out of us. And these signals are coming in form of natural calamities, the instability in the environment. If you see the kind of diseases which are coming up, they are incurable diseases. Today, while we are sitting in lockdown, still the corona is spreading tremendously. We have created vaccines, but still it's not too effective. Religious fights are constantly on an increase. People are fighting because of their religions, and different caste, creed people are fighting for their supremacy. And if you see, people are ready with all their arms and ammunitions, and one problem coming up, and they can just go haywire. Not only this, there had been lot of holy scriptures which define this Kali Yuga in a very beautiful and a profound way, and they have very clearly given all the signals much before. They have given all these signals 500 years back only. And if you read these scriptures, and one of them is Garud Puran, which talks about the complete signals of Kali Kal, or what we call as the Iron Age. They define it that, you can say, when you see all these signals present on the earth, that is the time when there is a huge change which one should expect. The first thing is unseasonal or unwanted rains would start coming, and we see it very often. Unwanted rains which just spoil the complete crop, which is the hard and effort done by our farmers. The thunderstorms which are just blowing apart everything. We had umpteen tsunamis down south. The water crisis. Some places there are huge rains, and at others, the people are not even getting water to drink. The human creation, the human race is going to get indulged in hatred and terrible acts. And that's what we have been seeing. The whole mercy per se is just going away, absolutely vanishing. I was seeing the other day the news, a guy, he slapped his mom, and the old mother died immediately. So that's how the culture is becoming. People are, lifespan is shortening. There are youngsters who are having huge amount of heart attacks. The cancers are increasing. So the whole system is going through a turmoil. Emotional drain is happening. Temptation for money is increasing. People can just go anything and do any berserk activities just to have or earn money by hook or crook. The humanity will be destroyed, and terrorism is constantly growing. And interestingly, today's human beings, or if I say the life today, is governed by lust and anger. So in these times, the only thing which is going to stay put is power of purity. How? I'm going to give you a very simple example which we see in the one of the major mythological characters. Just let me know if anybody has not heard about Ramayana. Huh? So if that example holds true and everybody understands, then it is wonderful. If anybody doesn't know about Ramayana or Sita or Rama, then I can just give you a little bit of background. So, in this wonderful story of Ramayana, if you see what happened to Sita when she had sent Lord Rama to, behind that golden heron, which we call as the deer, when she wanted and she requested Rama to fetch that deer, She felt that there was a problem with Rama, and hence she directed Lakshman, who was the younger brother of Ram, to also go with him. And then Lakshman said that, okay, I'm going to go, but you're not going to cross that line of Maryada. But Sita finally crossed that line to give, Ravana, or the guy who came in lieu of, begging, as a beggar. And finally, Ravana took Sita to his place. Now, when Ravana had put Sita to Ashok Vatika, so he tried to touch this lady, but he could not touch Sita because Sita had this purity in her. She was sitting in the other land where anything and everything was possible. But because of that purity, nobody could touch her. So that's exactly what God tells us. That in today's times, if you really want to be safe and secure, then it is the purity of the soul which is going to safeguard you. No human being can save you from anything, even the husband, or your brothers, sisters. Nobody can come to your rescue till the time the soul has the power of purity, till the time you imbibe God's love in your life. So it is the power of purity which is going to sail us through these turbulent times. So the need of our is purity. Purify yourself. Empower yourself with God's virtues. I sometimes wonder, people say that Kalyug is still a kid. हिंदी में बोलते हैं कलयुग अभी बच्चा है. And God says the Kalyuga is not a bacha, he's not a kid, Kalyug is just kuch bacha hai. Abhi kuch hi bacha hai. It is about to finish. You never know when the Third World War is going to start. What is it waiting for? God says, my dear children, I have come on this earth to decorate you, to empower you. Now is the time when you should all empower yourself. The need of the hour is self-empowerment through creating elevated thoughts, pure, powerful thoughts. And how these pure, powerful thoughts are going to bring about a huge change in our karma. If you say Om Shanti, because Om Shanti has a wonderful meaning to it. Om Arthat, I the soul. And Shanti means I the soul is peaceful. Another meaning of Om is, if you change the spelling, AUM, which means actions, utterance, and the thoughts in my mind. So if I, the soul, become peaceful, my thoughts, which is the seed, becomes peaceful. If my thoughts are peaceful, my utterance automatically becomes peaceful. If my utterance becomes peaceful, which means my words are guided with and governed with peace, automatically my actions would be peaceful. So the major change which the time demands is self-empowerment, wherein we know what kind of karma we have to do. What are the kind of thoughts that we have to create now? But yes, as always, God is not going to just throw things on us. He gives us the deeper understanding and clarity about everything. He tells us time and again that, my dear child, work upon your belief system. So let us today evaluate. So today we'll be evaluating all belief systems which people have been having till date about the karma philosophy and the time cycle. So, the first belief system, which says that the duration of this world drama is 5,000 years, which we understand. And in this 5,000 years, a soul goes through 84 lakhs species, huh? Which means that the human race, as per them, is a rare species. And because you get this species only basis the good karma that you are doing. Now, if that be the case, what happens to the other species? Let us just evaluate. The other species, like animals, birds, moths, insects, plants, all these species are the birds that you get because of bad karma, and hence represents the suffering. Yeah, yeah. This is what people say. I'm not saying, let's just evaluate. So let's just go step by step. So, first thing which people said, that the human race is the best race, and every soul has to go through these 84 lakh species. Let's think logically. We will be trying to attempt and understand this problem which has come in front of us logically, scientifically, and spiritually. We'll think it through. So let us understand. The problem statement was, you get this birth basis your actions. Basis your actions. Which means somebody who did a violent karma, let's say somebody who has a habit of shouting, howling, fighting, slapping people, hurting people, will die, and in his or her next birth will become or get a body which will be, which means he'll be going in a violent species. So most of the, or the biggest, or I would say the most available, violent species as per our understanding is, he becomes a tiger, he becomes a lion, he becomes something which is very violent. Now the logic of this statement was that if you did a bad karma, you get a bad or a low quality birth. Hinsak karm, hinsak yoni. Violent karm, violent species. But do you really think, is it repentance in true sense? Because we discussed very clearly, if an action you are repeating on a regular basis, it is becoming your habit. And habits are the repeated impressions which are coming on my soul. And the more we are repeating that thing, it is leaving a scar on my soul, because it has now left an impression on me. Do you really think it is repentance? Am I giving any, saza to that person? Not really. I remember once upon a time, Justice Krishna Iyer ji, who happened to be in those days the Chief Justice of Supreme Court India. He came to Mount Abu. And very interestingly, he was sharing his experience. And he said, I find Indian system a little typical. And this is what he said. He said that if a person is doing a wrong act, what happens is, we will, basis his act, we are going to put that person behind bars. If the problem or the mistake or the blunder that he's created is not too big, he's just done a small theft, so he will be given jail for, or he will be kept in jail with the people who have done the similar kind of act. If he's done a bigger thing, so the similar people who have done similar kind of thing, we will be putting him behind bars with those kind of people. Now just keep thinking, when this person who's done a robbery, he goes in the jail or behind the bars, and he's with other thieves, What is the kind of discussion which these people are going to do? What is the kind of discussion? When they start talking, they'll say, "Hey, buddy, how have you come inside?" The other person is going to say, "I did this and I did that." What is the kind of communication which they are going to have? "Oh, okay, you did this mistake. If you wouldn't have done this mistake, now you would have never got caught." So they will keep discussing what nonsense have they created outside, and they will keep discussing and understanding what better could they have done that police could have not had got a caught of them. पुलिस से वो बच जाते, ऐसा कुछ solution they would have discovered. So we had put them behind bars so that we can bring about a change within them. But hereby putting them behind bars and with other thieves or the other people who have done a robbery or have done a murder, they are discussing more and more, and their sanskars or their habits are becoming very strong. Is that the real law? Is it really genuine to do so? The second thing, which says that as you sow, so shall you reap. जैसा बोगे वैसा फल मिलेगा, हिंदी में कहते हैं ना. So if you think logically, I have a seed of mango. I had sown that seed in a land. What should I expect? I will get a mango. Whatever variety of mango have I sown, that's the kind of variety which is going to come out. If I today start expecting that no, I don't want a mango, a apple tree should come out. Is that logical? Tell me something. Is that logical? What would you say, Brother Ramesh? Yeah, no, very illogical of me. So how can I expect a human body, a human soul giving birth to something else? Creating a frog, or getting into a species of lion, or becoming a plant or something like that. Every soul has their own capacity. Logical hai ye logic bhi hai. This is scientific also. I'm going to share more examples. So every seed has their own quality, their own characteristics. Even a dasheri arm, you cannot expect a chausa arm coming out. That seed just has a particular variety and the capacity to give rise to that particular tree. Similarly, look at this, a seed of mango giving rise to a mango tree. Similarly, if you see a human body, when the soul leaves this human body, he cannot become a pigeon, neither a rabbit nor a dog, nothing at all. He has to go, this soul has to go and become a human being only. Right? Now let us get back to the scientific explanation of this. He is Dr. Raymond Moody, a very famous psychologist, a very famous physician, a very famous author. And he has authored quite a few books which were on the basis of the study which he did on life after death and also near death experiences. He operated and he worked upon approximately 3.65 lakh cases. And when he had taken these people into past life regression, which means he has that capacity that he can take people to approximately 5, 6 births or 7, 8 births back. And when he was studying all these people, interestingly, none of the person which he tested, approximately around 1.6 lakh people, he could understand the language of such people. It was either, some human language it was, and these were the languages which he could find people who could actually translate what this person was talking. And interestingly, all these people, in whatever number of births he had taken back to, all of them were speaking human language. Interestingly, not even a single person spoke a language of dog or a cat or anything else. Anything. I mean, everybody was speaking the human language. This is the scientific proof of a human soul becoming a human soul. Not only this, these people have carried these experiments for on species like dogs. And I remember a very interesting example which he was citing in one of his videos, that very clearly there was a lady who was driving in California, and she had her dog besides sitting in her car, and she was passing by a meadow, and suddenly the dog started barking, and she was forced to stop the car. And she thought that let me get down, and she felt that probably the dog wants to just go out and let me just open the gate. And the moment she opened the gate, the dog started running. And the dog started running so far that finally he reached a hut which was nearby. And when that dog reached the hut, he suddenly started, looking around and, scrapping the mud which was there. So much so that he started looking around, and the person who was inside that hut, he came out. This lady and that guy were both little perplexed, and both were looking at each other. And this guy was actually looking and seeing, and he immediately recognized, almost a year back, his dog has expired. And he had left his two kids there. And he came there exactly at the same position looking for his children. So these are wonderful examples in front of us. A dog, a bitch becoming a dog, or a human becoming a human. He or she, the soul, can travel anywhere. A human being who's leaving a costume in India can travel and go to London. A person who's leaving a costume in Ireland can definitely take a birth in Sri Lanka. So the soul can travel anywhere, but a human soul has a capacity to become a human soul only. And that's how these people have been curing lot of patients through this past life regression. So when they are unwinding the tape, you see, what they are doing is they are taking people in their past births. So there was a very interesting, example which he cited of a story of a lady who had a major back pain, and despite of the fact her husband got her treated, their MRI scans were done, the CT scans were done, all those scans were done, it was found that this lady had no problem at all. But still this lady was always complaining of a huge amount of pain in her back. So they thought of trying this technique of past life regression. And what they did was, the doctor had taken to her last birth, and she started speaking what really happened in her past birth. So she explained that I was going with my family in a truck, and the truck was going through the mountains. And when we were climbing the mountains, the truck was going on the mountains, the truck got hit by another truck, and we had a massive accident. And since I was sitting on the right hand side, and this truck had the accident on the right hand side, so my body got hit from the back. Yeah. And she had that feeling of that traumatic feeling that hi Mary, back. She had this noise, this sound that, oh Mary back, oh, I have a severe backache. And that got registered in her soul. So today also in this birth, she had the same problem. So when this soul was explained that this is how you left the costume, she got relieved, and her this thing was cured, her pain was cured. So these people, the past life regression people, doctors, are actually curing lot of ailments of people because of this. So now let us just understand the next thing, which says that let us understand, we people said their belief was that we as human beings is the best race. I'm going to ask you a very simple question. When we today are suffering from corona, have you seen any animal or any, for that matter, birds suffering from corona? They are all enjoying freely on the in the skies. Today we say that human race is the best race. But what about the people who are begging? There are times when a child is born with legs not working, or there is no eyes, or there is some or the other ailment the child is having, some genetical abnormalities, or some other abnormalities which people are having. Why is it so? If this janam, if this birth which these people are getting after all these agony which they have gone in other birth, if this is the most sought after birth which people have got, then why is it that there is more agony? Look at today a dog traveling in the car, and look at the on the other side a beggar begging. And the moment you are throwing the food which a passerby is throwing, these people pick it up immediately and start eating. Do you really feel that this race is the bestest race? No, my dear brothers and sisters, all races or all species are great. All species are perfect. It is my karma. As you sow, so shall you reap. It is my karma. If I'm doing a great karma, I'm getting a great birth of a human being only. Acha karam, acha birth. But that doesn't mean I become a dog, or I become a cat, or I become a rat. Never. A human soul will always become a human soul. My these I would say, if a person is having a suffering, if a person is going through a turmoil, is because of the past birth karma. So if I am doing a great karma, it is bound that I am going to get a good birth. Now let us examine yet another belief system of people. In India, and I'm sure in other places also, we say that people take 84 lakh June, which means 84 lakh species. That's what we read. But if that was the case, we also understand the cycle, the time cycle is of totally 5,000 years. Imagine 5,000 years and a person taking, a soul taking 84 lakh species. What is the amount of, or the duration of life which each species is going to have? Actually, it's just not possible. It's absolutely ridiculous, and the calculation just goes haywire. Logically, this 84 lakh June, which people say, it actually means 84 births which a soul takes on a maximum, which we discussed yesterday. In golden age, when the soul had good power, the maximum birth
a soul is taking here is 8 births. 8 births. When we go in Silver Age, the maximum births a soul is taking is 12 births. When we go to the Copper Age, the maximum birth a soul takes is 21. And then in Iron Age, the maximum birth that we are taking is 42. So if you add it up, it just becomes 83. The one birth that we are taking is in this confluence age, and it becomes 84 births. So the maximum births which a soul can take is 84. And what is the minimum birth a soul can take? A minimum birth the soul can take can be one. So let us understand, not everybody is going to come in this golden age. It is only handful souls. Not everybody is going to come in the silver age. But yes, the rule of the game is you enter any time. You enter any time in this cycle, but you can leave the cycle only here. That is the only time when return journey starts. Remember, I told you umpteen souls, and we see a population explosion which is happening. Why is it so? Because nobody is going upstairs. Everybody is just coming down and they keep settling here. And hence, you see the population is constantly increasing and growing. Now, another very profound learning from this time cycle is that every birth in this drama, in this world drama or the cycle, is like one episode. I'm going to share a very interesting thing and how I learned about this wonderful fact. One day when I was invited by my cousins, and normally they, always used to call me that you're always a late Latif, you always come late. Because I'm a working professional, and from office I used to always come late, and we used to go late to their place. So this time they told me that, sister, I mean, Didi, you'll have to come a little early. So I said, okay, I will not delay this time. So we went a little early to their place, which was absolutely unexpected to them. It was 8 in the evening and we reached their home. They all were watching a serial. My cousins were all busy watching a serial. I went to them and I said, hey, listen, you're not talking to me. You've invited me early. I'm here. You're not even interacting with me. So they said, no, wait. So there's a very interesting serial which is coming. I said, okay. They said, okay, why don't you also sit and join us? I said, okay, let me sit and join us. If I sit there and I'm going to see something, then definitely I also started seeing that TV serial. Frankly speaking, I was not getting any head and tail out of that serial, what these people were watching. But since they were enjoying it, and anything that used to happen, they used to start clapping. Wow, this is wonderful. This is great. This is amazing. And I was sitting like a big idiot, not understanding even a head and tail out of it. And I used to tell them, and I was constantly bugging them that what is so interesting about this? This is so illogical and so nonsensical. Somebody came, somebody went there, and there was somebody's husband, and they were fighting, and these people were clapping, and somebody murdered somebody and whatnot. So they said something very interesting while they were trying to explain me the story, but they kept on telling me, just keep quiet, just keep watching. So I said, but I'm not getting any head and tail out of it. So they said something to me which was so profound that I learned this lesson for my lifetime. They said, Didi, you haven't seen the complete episodes of this drama. And today is the last episode when all the scenes, all the things are getting settled. You are just seeing what you are seeing today. And hence, you cannot make any head and tail out of it. We have seen all the episodes, and hence we can appreciate what happened there. And this person had done a mischief then, and hence he's coming here and slapping him and beating him. So the accounts are getting settled. They said it so simply, and I kept on thinking. That's exactly what is happening in our own lives, my dear brothers and sisters. If we feel today that this is not what is going right in my life, everything is perfect. Because what today I am seeing is just one episode. My one life is my one episode. I do not know. My soul had been on a journey. 84 births that I have taken. Maybe of a male, a female, a female, a male, female, female, male. And today I am here in this costume. I do not know what have I done wrong in past to somebody. And suddenly that somebody comes and he creates a havoc in my life, and I feel pity and in pain, and I start cursing him. But today, for the first time, I have realized that every birth in this drama is one single episode, and every birth is depicted in this world drama by a wonderful stair. And I'm going to show you the whole depiction of this as a staircase. Yeah. So it began with the golden age, Satyuga, when my soul was absolutely 100%, जिसको हम कहते हैं सतो प्रधान, absolutely shining. I had 16 celestial powers, सर्व गुण संपन्न, 16 कला संपूर्ण, संपूर्ण निर्विकारी, and we used to look like deities. We used to look like deities. Who used to stay there? Surya Narayan or Satya Narayan. That's why we call them Satya Yuga. Surya Narayan and Satya Narayan. That was the age we used to stay. And then the beginning of this, golden age, the population was very less. It was only 9 lakh souls which came down. And then these 9 lakh souls, so maximum births that a soul is taking is only 8 births. The time kept on passing by. The soul had so much of power that each soul was an embodiment of purity, peace, bliss, love, power, happiness. I was an embodiment. We never used to look at somebody like this because everybody was 100%, 100% pure, 100% in every aspect. The nature was perfect. Everybody used to just admire, keep looking at things in a very soul conscious state. Then the time passed by and we came to the silver age, जिसको कहते हैं चंद्रवंश, silver age or Treta Yug. Who was ruling there? Ramachandra. Ramachandra ji took the dynasty from his father, who was in Suryavansh. So here the soul became Sato, from Pradhanta 100% to it became 80%. Two qualities were lost. From 16 celestial powers to it became only 14 kala, 14 kala. दो कलाएं खत्म हो गई. Two celestial powers vanished over a period of time. You see, as you start using the mobile phone, the battery slowly starts getting depleted. So again, we were Sato, not Pradhan, but the halo was still there, but it slowly started weakening. So there was, I would say, Ratna Jadet Taj, and then also the kingdom of purity. So there was a crown of, I would say, the jewels, and also there was a halo of purity which these people, the kings and the queens, had. And then the population from 2 crores to actually it came down, increased to 33 crores. The population was constantly increasing. Now slowly the time passed, and the age was also reducing as the births was increasing. So from 8 births to it became 12 births. Now we went to Dwapar Yug, or the Copper Age. Here the soul from Sato, it became Rajo. You see, there is some bit of vices which are starting, which have already started to come. The matter started ruling, and the soul consciousness, that state, started slowly vanishing. I started thinking and believing that I am the body. And then we started worshipping our own idols. We started worshipping the supreme in form of Shiva Lingam, the father of all the souls. And then we started worshipping our own selves, and slowly the each soul started to have lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. Slowly vices started coming in. The energy of the soul started diminishing. So from 12 celestial powers, we just had 8 powers left. Now the soul was, as the time was ticking, the soul entered the Kali Yuga. And here, from Rajo, we became Tamo. And slowly, when we came here, we have started becoming Tamo Pradhan, absolutely lost our treasures. The soul became absolutely dark. The soul consciousness vanished totally. We were all body conscious. Decorating this body, feeding this body, taking care of this body, and we totally forgot that we were nothing but the energy within which is driving this costume. We forgot that. Matter started ruling. There was no kala which was left. There was no celestial powers which we had at all. We were sampurna vikari, which means the vices started ruling us. We became absolutely vicious. Hinsa became the parmo dharma. We started hurting people. The souls became full of lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. Everybody's life was full of pain. We started fighting, and look at this. I think you all can see it for your own self. How this deterioration is slowly and steadily coming in. So when these things start increasing, that's when, God comes and He gives us the realization and tells that now is the time for return journey. But today, people are in big pain. They are scared. What is going to happen? Is this corona going to bring, are we really going to survive? What is going to happen? Because people are dying untimely death. At the age, even at young age, people are dying. There are, lot of deliveries which are happening of the mothers, that, children are born dead in the fetus itself. So all these things are the sign of Kali Yuga. Today, we all know that deities were amar. इच्छा से अपना शरीर छोड़ते थे. They used to leave their body with their own will, because 150 years was a great time. They had seen the whole progeny and they used to enjoy that, and they used to die. Have you ever seen a picture of a deity with a beard? No, never. So there were no beard. They never used to get aged at all. So this is how the complete cycle was. But the question arises, who were these souls who went there? Well, yes, the answer is pretty much true, that it is we, the souls, who have to go there. But who can go there? Would be the children who listen to this godly knowledge, imbibe this godly knowledge, empower themselves with this godly knowledge and virtues, and bring about a change in themselves. So now God comes and tells us that, my dear children, this is the confluence age. And hence, this birth is definitely a very, very durlabh janam, which means a very sought after birth. Because this is the time when you have to learn to do sreshtha karma or the elevated karma. This is the time when we sow the seeds of good elevated karma. And hence, let's now understand the karma philosophy and resolves the and get a better clarity about the belief system which we had before. So, one of the major belief systems which people have is whatever is happening in my life is as per God's will. अच्छा हो रहा है वो भी भगवान करा रहा है. If there is something wrong that is happening in my life is also because of God's will. Now I'm going to ask you all, how many of you believe in that? Please raise your hands, digital hands, or write in the chat box so that I can see how many of you have raised your hand. Sister Sanu says, okay. Anybody else who says and believes that whatever is happening is because of God's will? So brother Amarnath, Dr. Alpna Sharma, or Dr. Alok, I guess. Yeah. Okay, anybody else? Oh, so most of you believe that whatever is happening in our life is because of God's will. Wonderful. Sister Guneet also said that she also believes in that. Wonderful. Now, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Yeah. You all are sitting here. I'm sure you have your own children. Yes or no? Yes or no? Just wave your hand so I know you all are listening to me. Now, if let's say you have 2 children or 3 children, one child is very naughty. One child is very naughty, always doing some or the other shararat. But the other child is very intelligent, very understanding, and he listens to you. But the chutku is, he or he needs your help, he needs your guidance. Now, if God comes and tells you that you have to write that child's destiny, the destiny of both of your children, right? आपको अपने बच्चों की डेस्टिनी लिखनी है. Can anybody unmute yourself and tell me the answer? What is the destiny? What kind of destiny would you write for your children? Huh? Sister Chaya, would you like to answer that?
Yes, Om Shanti Didi.
Om Shanti. Yes, please tell me.
या मैं अदिति दीदी के क्लास में हूँ लेकिन आज उनका नहीं था इसलिए मैंने आपको ज्वाइन किया है आज.
जी.
And I'm from Canada, Winnipeg.
Okay.
And
wonderful.
I feel so good to listen to you because it's all in English.
Yeah.
So अगर हमें ऐसा chance हो कि हमें अपने बच्चों की, if we want to write destiny for our children,
Yeah.
I like the best for both of them, not like we go do favor for one and not others. So I will write the best for both of them.
Sure.
Thank you.
That's sure. Very
Yes,
clear
it
on
is
that?
sure.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. Anybody who doesn't agree to Sister Chaya? Anybody? No. Huh? Okay. Okay. So Dr. Alok says no, I don't agree. Okay. What would you do, brother?
सब ईश्वर पे छोड़ देंगे तो ईश्वर करेगा वो अच्छा करेगा.
नहीं. ओके, आपने अच्छी बात कही. मैं आपसे ये पूछ रही हूँ, ईश्वर ने कहा, God says that no, brother, I am giving you that right. आप अपने बच्चों का डेस्टिनी लिखो. हाँ, आपके 2 बच्चे हैं, एक थोड़ा वीक है, एक थोड़ा बहुत अच्छा है, एक बहुत अच्छा है. अभी आपको दोनों की डेस्टिनी लिखनी है. हाँ, जो छोटा वाला है वो थोड़ा शरारती ज्यादा है. क्या करेंगे, उसकी तो डेस्टिनी खराब कर देंगे ना. ये मेरी बात नहीं मानता है. हाँ, नहीं
सर,
नहीं
ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करेंगे कि वही करे जो कुछ करे.
नहीं
क्योंकि उसके कर्म है, उसके कर्म है
नो,
वो कर
अग्रीड.
रहेगा.
वंडरफुल. सो दैट इज परफेक्ट. वो तो आप करेंगे. ईश्वर ने कहा नहीं बच्चे, आज मैं आपको ये पावर दे रहा हूं, आप लिखो इसकी डेस्टिनी. अब बताओ आप क्या लिखोगे. आपको लिखनी ही है. आप बताइए कैसी लिखेंगे.
अच्छे कर्म करे.
इक्वल फॉर बोथ.
इक्वल फॉर बोथ. वाह, क्या बात है. अभी भी आप डिसाइड कर रहे हैं. हाँ, Did this answer come from you, that equal for both?
नहीं, मैंने नहीं दिया.
हाँ, okay. So
It
you,
came from
परफॉर्मेंस के
brother
हिसाब
Jayesh.
जी,
अमरनाथ ये
हाँ,
परफॉर्मेंस के हिसाब से ही लिखी जाएगी.
परफॉर्मेंस के हिसाब से लिखेंगे. अच्छा, मतलब आपको अगर अपने बच्चे का भविष्य लिखना है, दोनों में से दोनों का लिखना है, तो आप ये कहेंगे कि भाई इसके परफॉर्मेंस के हिसाब से दे देना, इसको अच्छा दे देना, इसका भविष्य बिगाड़ देना, इसको घर अच्छा मत देना, इसको घर अच्छा देना, इसकी हेल्थ इसकी बिगाड़ देना क्योंकि इसकी परफॉर्मेंस अच्छी नहीं है, इसकी अच्छी दे देना. ऐसा ही करेंगे गुनीत बहन? हाँ, ऐसा ही करेंगे कल्पना बहन?
नहीं,
नहीं. What would you do?
Father
I
loves
will
both
write the best
equally.
for both my children.
Wow, lovely. That's like a mother. Huh? And genuinely, that is what any parent should do and would do. So my question to you is, if that is how you as parents do, then how can you expect Supreme Father, who has given you everything, who has given and who loves us to the max, how do you expect him spoiling our destiny? How can we expect? वो ही सुख दे रहा है, वो ही दुख दे रहा है. जब देना ही सुख था तो फिर वापस क्यों लेगा? जब आप अपने बच्चों का, when you cannot spoil the destiny of your children, how can God spoil the destiny of us? For him, each one is alike. He's giving this spiritual knowledge to everybody out there. But there is a level of understanding and there is a level of acceptance which each one of us has. किसी ने इस बात को पहले सुना, somebody heard it before, they accepted it. Somebody said, no, I don't want to listen to it. Oh, this is all rubbish. I don't agree. Fair enough. So it is like, as a parent, we can always give advice to our child. Keep telling him, hey, listen, you have to study, because if you study, you will have a great career. The child studies or doesn't study is child's wish. If today you are sitting beside him, trying to educate him, trying to make him learn his lessons, and then finally the child goes to the school or the university and he flunks, now what happens? As a parent, you would be called to the school that your child has flunked. You feel sad about it. Now what is that you are going to do? You come back home, you might be slapping him or sitting beside him, bhai pad lo please. You can still put in lot of effort, ki pad lo, study. But ultimately, child will have to go and do his karma or not. Or you would go in his place and go and give his exam. Is it possible? No. You can educate him, you can support him, you can guide him, but ultimately everybody is responsible for their own karma. Today, no two children are alike. They might be resembling in term of their face, their look and feel. Two twins, even they are not alike. Remember I shared with you? Because their nature is different, because their sanskars are different. No two people are alike. Similarly, my dear brothers and sisters, this thought that whatever is happening in my life is as per God's will. Had it been God, God would have made and written perfect for everybody. जैसे आपको अगर अपने बच्चों की डेस्टिनी लिखने को दी जाए, so you would say it has to be perfect. Health, perfect. Education, perfect. Their upbringing, their school, perfect. Everything perfect. Then how can you expect he is Supreme Father? He pities on us, and that's the reason why he's coming and incarnating on this dirty earth where we have nothing. There is no love, passion, feelings at all. And he comes and incarnates just to tell us about who we are. Who we are and who he is. And he's here to give us as much. So now, the Bigger learning is whatever is happening in my life is basically what I am doing. To every action, there is equal and opposite reaction, is what we have read in our childhood. As you sow, so shall you reap. जैसा कर्म करोगे वैसा फल मिलेगा. एक बड़ा simple सा example. Imagine today is my birthday and you all plan to give a gift to me. Okay? The kind of gift that you will be giving to me would be basis few things. One, the kind of relation that we both share. Second, what was the gift I gave to you when it was your birthday? होता है या नहीं? Logical है या नहीं? हाँ, Sanu Ben, sister Sanu, is this logical or not? You generally give a gift to somebody. There are certain thought process. What is the kind of relation do I share with that person? If that happens to be your son, your daughter, you will try and bring the bestest. Usko kya chahiye, right? So your relation. Second, what that person gave to you on your birthday
in the past.
Yeah, past. Huh? And basis that you decide, okay, I'm going to spend only $500 or I'm going to spend as much money, right? Now you brought a gift for me. Yeah, something which is very casual, very typical. And then third thing which I missed is that what is Monica and how does she look like, and probably what might be her preferences. So basis her preferences, you give a gift to her. Now today you've given a gift to me, which is very, very basic gift. Tomorrow you get to know that the same gift that you have given to me 5 days later is your birthday. And 5 days later, I am going to give back the same gift to you again. Yeah, you get to know about this logic. Now, when you again have to rethink the gift that you have to give to me, what would be the change in your thought process? Can you tell me, Sister Sanu? You have to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, sister.
Yeah, maybe you didn't like the gift.
No. So my question is, so you bought a gift for me, huh? Without
Yeah.
knowing this fact that 5 days later it's your birthday and Monica is going to return back the same gift to you. That's the logic. That's a complete planning which has been done already, right? Now, if you had to give and buy a gift for me, knowing very clearly that the same gift is going to come back to you after 5 days, what is your basis of procuring that gift for me? Who would be more important for you?
You, of course.
Me, of course. But then 5 days later, I'm going to return the same gift to you again. So logically, अब जब आप गिफ्ट खरीदोगे तो आपके सामने मेरी प्रेफरेंस नहीं होगी. I would not be the preferred one. It would be you. Because you know that gift is going to come back to you again. So what you want in your life would be your choice of procuring the gift and not me. That's exactly what is happening in this law of karma. In this law of karma. Imagine that the soul is on a journey. We all are on a journey. What is coming today in front of me is what I had created in my past, right? Today, let's just look all this as a ball. I am throwing a ball on a wall with a huge intensity. With that same intensity, the ball comes back
to
and
you.
comes at me. If my intensity of throwing that ball was less, so the speed of that ball coming back to me would be also less,
Less.
less or reduced. But definitely it is going to come back to me for sure. Right or no? Similarly, what I have created today will be my future. What is coming back to me today is my past karma. What I am creating today or behaving or experiencing today is my present. And what I am creating and responding or reacting today is my future. And hence, my future destiny is basis how I am responding today. Remember the first chapter? I, started howling at you in front of everybody. You have two choices. You also start howling back at me. On the contrary, you felt, no, there's something wrong today with her. Let me keep quiet. I'm going to find out a separate time with her and interact with her. Yes or no? And that's exactly what you did. We went together, you spoke with me, I apologized, and I realized that I was absolutely not in my senses because of something going around, and I unnecessarily blasted you, and we have created a loving relation again. So there were no changes in your emotions. You never made them negative. There were no negative feelings which were created. There were no spoiling of your habit or actions or then forming of habit. And you never created a losing destiny for yourself. We again had that loving relation and a great destiny created. But the bigger thing that we all have to realize is that everybody has a choice to make. Whatever is coming to me is my own karma and not God creating anything for us. Because, God has lot of other things to do. He says, I am not sitting free for, planning your karma or your behavior. It is you who is responsible for your own actions. Sometimes the fruit of karma, you get the response fast. Remember what I shared the story yesterday? Of a person who was to go and get a prize for the kind of work that he had done in the past. He had to be awarded, but because of his legs got amputated, he could not attend that meeting. And finally, after 15 days, he came to know that the plane crashed. So he realized that any which ways I was not destined to travel to that place and get that award physically. So the fruits of karma he could get in just 15 days. He could had that vision. But what if it took him almost a year, a whole lifetime? The whole lifetime becomes painful. It's like, a coconut fruit gets formed in 5 years. So you have to wait for 5 years to see the fruit of coconut. Whereas in case of chilies, you get the fruit in just 3 months. So it takes a while. Every karma, with whatever speed you get the result would depend upon what was the intensity of your karma. जितना स्ट्रॉन्ग आपका कर्मा होगा उतनी स्ट्रॉन्ग इंटेंसिटी से वो आपके पास वापस आएगा. But that karma or the seed has been sown by each one of us. Everybody is on a journey creating their own karma. So let us not, try and control people. I sometimes wonder when people say, I have spent my whole life, making my husband or my hubby, whether husband or wife, like myself. And I have failed miserably. Both are trying to control each other. Let us understand everybody is a soul. and every soul is on a journey, carrying their own sanskaras or carrying their own CD inside. And each CD has its own recording of past 84 births. What can I control actually? I can only control my responses. Let me not try and control people outside there. Let me try and empower myself. Look at this. Somebody shouting and pointing out to you. Sometimes I wonder. Normally, people say you have to pity on the person on whom this person is actually shouting. You're absolutely wrong if you think like this. Because when I'm shouting and howling at others, it starts coming from here much later. I start first thinking and creating that pressure inside me for a while. And once I have created that pressure here, is when I start spitting it out and start howling at others. So I have already burnt myself. But the other person out there has three choices. So you should actually pity this person and not the person on whom this guy is shouting. This person has three choices. He can either absorb his energy and feel sucked, or he can reflect that energy with the same intensity with which that person was shouting. He can shout double or triple the amount of energy which the other person is putting. And the third option which this person has is he can bring about a transformation, which means rather than throwing that black ball which is coming from outside, I simply catch it and decide very clearly that I am not going to throw a negative ball. I will throw a positive ball, because whatever I am throwing out there is bound to come back to me. It always, I remember I told you in the first session that energy always works like a boomerang. You throw positivity, the positivity will have a natural way of coming back to you. You throw negativity, negative emotions, the negative emotions are going to come back to you. So it is me who is responsible for creating my own choices. And hence, this is the time when we sow the seeds of elevated karmas. Let us understand there are 4 varieties of karmas. The first and the most profound is the elevated actions, which are the most powerful one. You create one karma and it creates ripples. I'm going to give you a very simple example which is going to clear this whole concept. The second variety of karma is akarma, inactions. There's no actually positive or negative to such a karma. The third type of karma is sukarma, which means good karma, positive karma. The actions which are guided by some or the other positivity, giving happiness to somebody. Now that happiness could be momentarily or a little long lasting, but not that long lasting. The fourth variety of karma is vikarma, which means a bad karma. The actions which are based upon vices. Now let me give you a very simple example. We all are learning this education from Almighty. So what he is trying to tell us that, my dear children, in this confluence age, you are bringing about and forming the basis of the whole kalpa, of the whole time cycle. Now, what do you have to do is you sow the seeds of elevated karma. Imagine I had sown a mango tree. I planted a mango tree. Now I started giving water, I started taking care of this tree, and over a period of time, this tree has grown huge. And I start getting lot of mangoes. I was so happy. I, I started taking down those mangoes. I ate those mangoes and distributed those mangoes to you, to everybody, to my family members, the kith and kins, and everybody. Everybody relished those mangoes. We all enjoyed eating those mangoes. Now, as we ate up all the mangoes, we realized that suddenly all the mangoes have vanished and there are no more mangoes. What do we do? So, the moment we started realizing that, we again thought that let's start watering this plant again. Let's start putting more manure onto it. And when I started taking care again, I started telling you, hey, listen, now when the mangoes come na, I have put in a lot of effort. You should thank me. I am the one who's responsible for this mango. I started putting a nameplate on this mango tree, taken care by Monica. Huh? And I started shouting. And if anybody started touching my mangoes, I started beating that person. Now, all this cycle is actually revealing all kinds of karmas. Let me tell you how. The day I had sown the seed of a mango tree, with a very elevated thought that we'll have mangoes and we'll all love to eat those mangoes. This is a elevated karma, which we are doing now. I think positive about myself. I think positive about the universe itself. We want to heal this world. We want to heal everybody, the souls, the nature, everybody. So God is telling us to create elevated karma. Now, once that tree has, grown big and we had mangoes, which means we went to the golden age and the silver age. We started eating whatever good that we have done. 20 births plus one birth of this confluence age. So 21 births we start enjoying. And why I say 21 births? Look at these 6-7 days which have passed in your life. I'm sure you find a positive change in yourself. Because I keep reading in the chats that you are enjoying, you are getting an insight about self. So the more we start practicing this meditation and become an embodiment of it, my life, my quality of life starts improvising. My present life also becomes happy. Even in these corona times, I'm relaxed. I still know that whatever is happening is perfect because the whole cycle is going through a transformation, right? This change is happening, and yes, within me there is a transformation which is happening. So my 21 births become great. I'm eating the fruits which I have sown now. So inaction, so which means this becomes like a karma. There is no negative, there is no positive that I'm doing. I am eating what I have earned. What I have earned now, for 21 births we eat. Now, when you enter to the Dwapar Yuga or the Copper Age, is when we realize, oh, we have eaten everything. There is nothing left. Then suddenly we start doing good karmas. Let's just create a temple. Let us just create a place where people can drink water or have some food. I start doing some dan, some dakshina. I start doing some good deeds. And when I started doing these good deeds, simultaneously, I became body conscious and started putting my nameplates everywhere, created by me. And I kept on telling you, hey, listen, give me garlands, give me bouquets and bouquets and everything, because I have done this. So I was becoming body conscious, and I started slowly, knowingly and unknowingly doing and eating up my good karmas, Now, what happened was, when I started giving to poor people, I started giving them, some money. What happens is, jane anjane mein, knowingly or unknowingly, these people, the person whom I had given money, who was a beggar, he went and bought a knife. And through that knife, he killed or murdered somebody. Now, what is happening is, jane anjane mein, knowingly, unknowingly, it became a vikarma for me. It became a bad karma. So my balance, which was a credit balance, which I ate up completely, slowly I started adding, eating, and started doing lot of vikarmas. So my debit balance started increasing. And here we all are sitting, where we feel tired, where we feel irritable, where we feel, very much in pain. And that's when we say, oh God, please come and help us out. So now when God comes, he gives us the realization, the real third eye of wisdom. He gives us spirituality. It's actually spirituality. What does spirituality means? The real science about the spirit. And spirituality in Hindi means har karma dharma ke aadhar par, which means the dharma means the shreshth dharana. And the real dharma, the real religion is, I am a peaceful soul. I am a blissful soul. I am a happy soul. I am a loveful soul. That's my true religion. So if I become an embodiment of it, is the real spirituality, or being in the real, state of mind. There is no hypocrisy here. No, not at all. We are not trying to pretend anything. We are what we are, and God is trying to take us back to our originality. So, my dear brothers and sisters, if you really want to bring about a change and transition and transformation, in your own life, and create good karmas, good deeds. So for that, it is very important to constantly keep checking, how receptive am I to this godly knowledge? Do I have really understood the real science behind self and the supreme soul? And how can I communicate with him and empower myself through this wonderful knowledge of meditation? Do I really realize the importance of this spiritual company? Do I really realize that the daily classes are important for this? As I feed my body daily, at least 3 times a day, similarly, the soul also requires food for mind. If the driver is weak and I'm not feeding the driver on a daily basis, which means I'm not giving the spiritual sessions on a daily basis, how would the driver survive? And then we say tension hota hai, we say irritation hota hai, I'm always in two minds. You will always be in two minds because the driver is weak. There is a clear symptoms that the driver is throwing. We should learn to have the lifetime companionship of the Supreme. And wo 7 din, these 7 days will never finish. Will never finish in our life. It constantly keeps going on, because this empowering and giving food to my mind is the most important thing. We'll have to let go of the weak and the waste, and we'll have to constantly keep asking. In case there are any questions, please always feel free to ask and clarify your doubts. So here we come to the end of today's session, and here is the homework. The homework says, throughout whatever time we have left today, until we meet tomorrow, throughout the day, let me check my karma. Whatever actions that we are doing, let us just keep checking and see, what am I doing and creating? Are they positive? Are they elevated actions or are they just casual actions? Because, for quite a while, we've been constantly checking our mind. Now, today and tomorrow, let us check not just the seed, but also the actions that we are creating. Are they positive? Are they elevated? While dealing with various situations, am I giving reactions or am I throwing reactions? Sorry, reactions or giving responses? What is the quality of my interactions with others? Is it possible? Possible to check? Huh? It just takes a little bit of effort. And once you start practicing it, it just becomes habit. So let us just go for a minute of silence. Sit back comfortably and just stay relaxed. Look at your lustrous past. See it clearly. They say God created man in his own image. And yes, I agree to it. My Father, the Supreme Soul, is bestowing me with all the powers, with all the Shakti. Is giving me all this 24/7, 365 days, unconditionally. It is me who has to make choices for my own self. What kind of destiny do I really want to make? Am I okay with anything or even a low grade destiny? Whatever, or do I want to create a destiny which is peaceful, which is great, which is like the human beings which had 16 celestial powers? Would I not love to play the role of hero actor in this drama? Ask yourself. It is me who's responsible for whatever is happening in my life. It is me who's bringing about the change, if at all I wish to, in my life. God, my Father, has given everything in my own hands. Let me decide today very clearly. All I need to do is Give some time to myself. Give some time to listen. Listen to what God is telling me. Give some time to transform my actions. Give some time to transform my thoughts. And I believe I am ready for that. I believe I am ready to take back my own sovereignty, to be the ruler within, and to rule the world outside. And I am blessed by God's love. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti. Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much, sister, for that session, which gave us so much clarity on a lot of our existing belief systems. So we learned that we are the creator of our own destiny. Our actions result in our destiny. So today we have a special guest with us also, Brother Subhash from Gyan Sarovar Mount Abu, and he would like to greet our audience today and Sister Monica. So, Brother Subhash would also like to invite all of you to Mount Abu. Uh, सुभाष भाई जी, हम सभी
ओम
आपको सुन रहे हैं, सभी आपसे मिल रहे हैं। ओम शांति।
सभी को ओम शांति। आप सभी ने इतने दिनों से इतना एकाग्र चित्त सुना, समझा और आपको इतनी अच्छी टीचर मिली, एक एक बात इतना स्पष्ट रूप से आपको समझा दी। तो आप अभी आपकी मोनिका दीदी से सदा ही कांटेक्ट में रहना, ताकि वो परमात्मा के साथ पक्का कांटेक्ट करा देगी आपका। और सबसे पहले तो आप जैसे ये हेडक्वार्टर है माउंट आबू जहाँ हम रहते हैं, तो जैसे ही ये कोविड का संकट पूरा हो जाएगा, आप अवश्य पधारे। ये आपका बहुत ही प्यारा मीठा घर है और परमात्मा का घर तो आपका घर। तो आपको आपके घर में स्वागत है और आप जल्दी से जल्दी, जैसे अभी आगे भी कुछ एडवांस कोर्स आदि चलेगा, मोनिका बहन आपको बताएगी कि आगे और कैसे चलना है, आगे कैसे बढ़ना है। और जब भी ये सिचुएशन ठीक हो जाएंगी, तो हमारा विचार है कि जिन्होंने भी कोर्स किया है उनका एक बार कहीं हम गेट टुगेदर करें दिल्ली में। जैसे भी सुविधा हो, हमारी जैसे सुजाता बहन है वो कोऑर्डिनेट करेगी और आपको और भी अच्छे अच्छे जो अनुभवी वक्ता है जिन्होंने अपने जीवन में बहुत कुछ पाया है। जैसे मैं शॉर्ट में मैं बताता हूँ कि मैं भी एक कैंसर से निकला हूँ, क्योंकि 2008 में मुझे कैंसर हुआ था। लेकिन मेडिटेशन इतनी बड़ी शक्ति है, परमात्मा के साथ कनेक्शन करने से हमारा माइंड इतना पावरफुल होता है और उसके आधार से हम कोई भी कर्म करते हैं और कोई भी परिस्थिति आती है तो उसको कैसे हम जीत पा सकते। तो यही तो ये मेडिटेशन में आपको सिखाया जाता है कि परिस्थिति कैसी भी हो, कहीं भी हो, तो उसके ऊपर हम जीत कैसे पाए, हम उसके ऊपर जीत पाके विजय प्राप्त कैसे करेंगे, और वो भी हंसते खेलते। तो मैंने बहुत बड़ा ये अनुभव, मेरे लिए तो एक नया जीवन है, मेरे लिए एक नई जिंदगी है। तो ये परमात्मा के साथ रह के, परमात्मा की शक्ति लेके, क्योंकि जो भी परिस्थिति आती है उसको सामना करने की हमें शक्ति होनी चाहिए। तो वो शक्ति आपको मेडिटेशन के आधार से, तो आपको इस 7 डेज में आपको बहुत सारी चीजें तो आपको मिली। अब उसको और भी आगे बढ़ाना है, अब प्रैक्टिकल में अपने जीवन में लाना है। समझो हम पेट्रोल पंप तक तो पहुंच गए हैं, अभी पेट्रोल भर के फिर उड़ान भरनी है, फिर हमारी गाड़ी आगे चलेगी। तो ये सिचुएशन तो अभी मोनिका बहन ने हमारे पास पहुंचा दिया है। अभी और भी हमें आगे बढ़ना है और खुद ऐसे बने कि खुद फिर औरों को भी ऐसा ज्ञान सुनाने लायक बने। ये हम सबकी इच्छा है। और आप सभी जिन्होंने भी कोर्स किया है उन्हों को हमारी शिवानी दीदी ने विशेष याद किया, आपको बहुत बहुत स्नेह प्यार दिया है। और अवश्य कभी ऐसा मौका मिलेगा कि तो आप कहेंगे देखो रोटरी में जो हमने सुना था, फिर कोर्स किया, फिर हम और आगे बढ़े, तो ये सिचुएशन फिर कभी आएगी तो अवश्य हम सब मिलेंगे। अभी तो दूर दूर से मिल रहे हैं, फिर करीब से मिलेंगे। आप सभी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। ओम शांति।
बहुत सुंदर भाई जी. Or so all of those who have been connected today, like Subhash Bhaiji mentioned, with meditation, it is, and like Monica Didi has also been mentioning it over so many lessons. It's mind over matter, and how he won his battle over cancer. So our course, like he mentioned, will be continuing from tomorrow, and after tomorrow's session, Brother Subhash Bhaiji will also be sharing his experience on how he used the power of meditation to win this battle over cancer. So do join in. It will be a wonderful experience for all of you. Monica Didi?
Brother, I will just request, there are, I think, 1 or 2 questions. So let's just quickly
Yes.
take them. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So let us quickly go through the questions. We have
Minu Ban's question. Yeah.
one second. Yes. So Sister Meenu has asked that Shanti sister, I'm trying to adapt positive behavior, but after 1 or 2 hours, I forget and I give negative reactions to situations and people. Please suggest what I should do.
See, it's a very good thing, and I would say a very good start, that at least for 2 hours you feel a little charged. Now, the only thing is, the awareness has started to develop, that okay, for 2 hours I feel very positive, I am giving responses, and yes, after 2 hours I start throwing reactions. So the best part is the realization is there. Now, all I have to work upon is empowering myself so much that from this 2 hour, it becomes 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, and then finally it becomes 24 hours. And then it keeps on increasing day in, day out, and it just keeps on increasing. So that's absolutely fine. You are right on track. Just keep doing it. Practice, practice, and practice, and it is going to make you perfect. Do it from today. It reminds me of a very interesting story. 3 youngsters, they went to a sadhuji, and to that swamiji, they said, we want to ask you one question. He said, yes, please ask me. So these guys, they said, when should we remember God? He said, oh, that's simple a question. Just a day prior to your death. These guys were very impressed. They said, wow, he's so intelligent. And they started walking back to their home. And on their home, when they were walking back, he said, you should remember God a day prior to your death. But strangely, we do not know when we are going to die. So they immediately went back to the Swami and they said, Swamiji, but we do not know when would we die? So he laughed and he said, that's the reason why I said, start remembering today. Similarly, sister, if you've started bringing about this change, you start practicing it from today, because none of us know when is our last day. But at least let's start bringing about that positive change. Just half an hour to 45 minutes on a daily basis. ये 7 दिन आपके कभी खत्म नहीं होंगे. Believe me, for me also, this journey started 35 years back. And ever since then, it was never a stopping. Because you see, human beings have a tendency, if they get something, they get some advantage, that's the reason they keep running after that thing. For me also, as a dyslexic child, not performing child, every time listening from people, kya karte ho, padhte nahi ho, ye nahi, wo nahi. And when I started understanding that, the change kept on coming. And the change is still coming constantly. I'm constantly working upon improvising myself because it's a journey. Remember, I said meditation is not an event, it's a journey towards becoming what we really want to. तो वो गोल बहुत क्लियर है. I want to be like deities, the people who had 16 celestial powers. I want to be like them. And that's not a utopian thought at all. I just have to work upon myself, improvising myself and empowering myself with those divine virtues. So that's possible. So wonderful, sister. Please get going. You are absolutely on the right track. Any other questions?
Yes, we had one more question from Sister Gunji. She asked that when we say actions of the past, does it imply past births also?
Yes, it could be anything. So it depends upon how old is the soul. And so let's say a soul could be having 84 births, 83 births, 82 births, 60 births, 1 birth, 2 birth. It could be any number. So how old is the soul? The soul is constantly doing an action. Let me tell you, the moment the soul comes in the body, he or she is constantly doing an action. People say, a lot of swamis, they say that I will go in deep kandraएं and we will not do any action. No. The moment the soul enters the body, you are bound to do a karma. Action is by virtue there. Even while you are breathing, that's an action. Even when you are sneezing, even when your heart is ringing, it is constantly an action. तो हर समय एक्शन तो होना ही है अगर आप बॉडी में आ गए हो.
तो सौरभ भाई को सबसे ज्यादा थैंक यू देना चाहिए क्योंकि उन्होंने पूरा कोऑर्डिनेट किया बहुत बढ़िया और पूरा फिर उसका रिकॉर्डिंग करके फिर
सुभाष
वापस
भाई, ये ना एक फैमिली है. एंड मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि फैमिली में हर व्यक्ति अपना अपना रोल प्ले कर रहा है. तो अभी थैंक यू की बात नहीं, ये तो अभी वी हैव स्टार्टेड, right? I'm sure you all believe in that. The journey has just begun. So there's no end to this journey. And don't ever think of ending this journey. Because कितने सारे जन्म हमने लिए हैं. You know, I always tell myself as a child, if God has come on this earth, then it's not just, those sadhus and swamis have the copyright to have him. No, it's me the first. Because I am his child and I want to have as much. हर व्यक्ति को अपने पेरेंट्स से सब कुछ ज्यादा चाहिए होता है. प्यार भी ज्यादा, उसकी प्रॉपर्टी भी सबसे ज्यादा, सब कुछ ज्यादा चाहिए. अटेंशन भी सबसे ज्यादा चाहिए बच्चों को. सो सिमिलरली, इफ ही इज माय पेरेंट, व्हाई शुड आई नॉट हैव द मैक्सिमम ऑफ गॉड? सो हाउ कैन वी थिंक ऑफ लीविंग हिम? डू यू थिंक दैट यू वांट टू लीव हिम? टेल मी. कोई छोड़ना चाहता है? सुरेंद्र भाई, डू यू वांट टू लीव गॉड? नो. गुनीत बहन, सानू बहन, डू यू वांट टू लीव गॉड? No, never. What are you asking, sister? We cannot even think or dream of leaving. Nobody can. तो ये जर्नी अभी शुरू हुई है, ये परिवार है हमारा, right? So we look forward to catching up with you all tomorrow, same time, same place. तब तक के लिए ओम शांति.
Sure. Thank you so much, sister. We'll all be connected tomorrow at the same
Alpna
time.
बहन,
Om Shanti.
take care.
So let
Om
us
Shanti.
conclude today's